My first video was about a gacha game, my second video was about a console game, and now my third video is going to be about a mobile 2D sandbox MMORPG with a player economy system.
Wow!
This channel is so doomed. And next video, I'm going to talk about a trading card game. But for now, here's a little context for the uninitiated. Nexus Station, formerly known as Dream Create Play, is a Growtopia-like game. Growtopia is a mobile 2D sandbox MMORPG with a player economy system.
What the hell are you talking about?
From 2012, the year the world ended. On its release, it was probably the best mobile game of all time, until Ubisoft got their hands on it. And then all of a sudden, it saw a huge influx of players from the Philippines. Or is it Malaysia? Indonesia? Southeast Asia. It saw a huge influx of players from Southeast Asia, which catapulted the game into the 19th top grossing adventure mobile game in Indonesia on Google Play. And then it saw a huge influx of players from cyberspace. In other words, bots. 60,000 players? More like 50 players. Free-to-play sandbox MMO? More like free-to-play until you realize you can't really do anything free-to-play. So you fork over some money, and then you fork over some more money, and then you fork over some more money, and then you fork over some more money.
So about Growtopia.
The game is so unimaginably over that their one decrepit decade-old server can't even let actual players play. It's a gamble just to get into the game. And then when you finally get in, you gamble. After you blow all your money on loot boxes, the game's server kicks you out. Abandoned, cold, alone, used.
Spare Gucci, ma'am.
And that's why Growtopia-like games exist. It's for players who were abandoned by Ubisoft's Growtopia. Though that's not to say that these Growtopia-like games are clones of Growtopia. Well, at least not all of them. They are just similar in features, gameplay, genre, and take heavy inspiration from the game that started it all. Junkjack for iOS. Nexus Station was developed by former developers of another game of the Growtopian persuasion, Pixel Worlds, which recently shut down after it was milked dry and abandoned by the company that owns it. I spent over 1,300 hours on this fucking game. That is to say that Nexus Station is in the good hands of people who actually have experience in this genre. After all, they wouldn't have gotten $2.5 million as a startup investment if they didn't know what they were doing.
Foreshadowing is a narrative device in which suggestions or warnings about events to come are dropped or planted.
I've been in the Discord server for a couple months now.
And boy, am I excited to finally play the game.
Okay, I finally got the email verification code. Time to create my account.
Let's see. What should I make my username?
Wow, that worked.
You know what? I actually don't want to get banned on day one. Let me just create another account.
Where'd the logout button go?
It should be there.
See, not there.
You're right. It's not.
Oh well, today's what? The first day out of beta? There's bound to be some bugs. I bet the server people are freaking out right now.
You will too.
Hey, let me see your phone real quick. What? Why? Hey, what are you...
So yeah, Nexus Station's early access is absolutely fantastic so far. Though I will point out that most, if not all, of the problems I have with the current build will probably be fixed on the game's official launch. But I will also point out that if at any point you feel that I'm being too harsh on the early access build of this game, please just take a second to remember that there is already a fully functional cash shop and season pass in the game. This is also an MMO where early access progress is carried over to the full release. Can you even imagine how livid Path of Exile 2's players would be if their game's early access progress carried over to the full release and players willing to fork over money got a several-month head start?
I mean, I can't because I don't play Path of Exile 2, and my capacity for visualizing an apple is below level 2. So actually, I see nothing wrong with this.
But yeah, no, it's early access just in name only, and players are just free beta testers.
And real quick,
Let me just get my gripes with the cash shop out of the way, so we can eventually talk about the actual gameplay, and I'll include footage of my pack openings in the background like Subway Surfers gameplay for ADHD Andes. So, the early access launched with 3 different purchasable currencies. Each currency's value is not easily convertible into real-world money, so it obscures how much you're spending when you're gambling on the loot boxes in the cash shop. And yes, this game is marketed towards children and has loot boxes, like a good Growtopia-like game should.
but this isn't what I have a problem with.
After all, 1984 was 40 years ago, and the practice of marketing loot boxes to children has long been grandfathered into the mobile gaming industry. What I do have a problem with is there being items in the shop which are only acquirable using crystals. You can only get crystals by spending real money on the game,
Or...
by leveling up the free tier of the Battle Pass, which only nets you 150 crystals max. But let's be real here. You're getting crystals by spending real money. You can't get crystals through trading with other players. And you can't get them by farming, which is already a step down from the developer's previous game and most other Growtopia likes,
where you could get the...
premium currency by farming. This issue also accentuates other issues. Let's start with the issue of limited items. Limited items are items that are removed from the cash shop after a certain length of time, and are therefore sure to gain value over time. Unlimited items are items that are always in the cash shop, and will therefore continue to lose value over time. Got all that? It'll be on the test. Unfortunately, the game doesn't make it clear what item is limited and what item isn't. Having played Pixel Worlds, the developer's last game, I'm fairly certain the limited items in the shop are just the items found in packs with numbers attached to it. But of course, there's no way to know for sure, as the game doesn't tell you. And assuming these items are the limited items, they are only purchasable with crystals. Meaning, if you're a free-to-play player, you can only get 2 of these items every month by completing the season pass, or by creating a bunch of different accounts.
That's a surprise tool that can help us later.
In case you're still confused about the early access status of the game, yes, the first season pass is already active, and it expires in like a month. It also doesn't pay for itself. It costs 1,000 crystals to unlock, and you only get 450 crystals from completing it, meaning after every month or so, you'll have to fork over real money to keep the season pass active. Look, even if all of this means nothing to you, and you just want to build shitty parkour maps all day with free assets, you still have to admit that the economy is undeniably a very big part of these games. Alright, I'm done ranting about the money sink. Time to talk about the actual gameplay. Oh wait, no. Let's actually talk about the art design first. What the hell is this RuneScape-looking player avatar? The alpha designs were
Better low-key.
The alpha designs were the right amount of cartoony. It's rich, it's flavorful. These new designs, however, went more realistic, so it doesn't have any of that flavor.
Fuck off, you French pig!
It's just bland. It doesn't tickle your ball. The character models are all the same height, which wouldn't look weird if it was cartoony, but something about it just feels off when they're more realistically proportioned. But then again, on their website, they say their target demographic is Gen Z, and Gen Z are pretty much all adults at this point. So maybe the less cartoony designs make sense? I don't know.
Body type B. More like diabetes type 2. See, this is what I mean. What? Can you even tell a difference?
That being said, the lighting is actually quite nice. The effects are as well. The way you can just double jump before the glitter falls out of your wings
Is just full of the exaggerated swagger of a black pixie. I mean, dark pixie.
The other wearables are also fairly well designed. The blocks all look plastic.
But at least it's better than what they looked like before.
Now, as for the gameplay, there's only 4 things you can do in the game. There's parkour, there's hoops, there's world building, and there's trading. Parkour is simple. You spawn, you end. And as for hoops, you have to fit the balls into the holes. Specifically, the holes that are the same color as the enemy team, not your team. And it's, well, let's just say you won't be Kobe Bryant.
Let's just say you won't be LeBron James.
Everybody know ain't no.
Okay, let's just say you won't be having any fun. Alright? How about that?
You can never get the ball to do what you want it to.
I take the ball, I bounce it,
Whoa.
I shoot, I miss it. Psych! I switched it!
And it's not only that the ball is hard to control, but it's also that your teammates AFK, your opponent's AFK, or the world is designed in a way that randomly selects the winners with this rotating platform thing. But hey, at least there's like actual physics in this game, which is quite nice.
It only took us, what, 12 years?
The future truly is now. Now the world building is what leaves the most to be desired.
Transport the prisoners.
And no, I don't mean lore. The game has no lore, and frankly, I'd prefer it stay that way. By world building, I mean building worlds by placing blocks. You also have an unlimited amount of most blocks, which reduces their value to nothing. Once you finish building your world, you have to publish it, allowing other players to join. If you want to edit the world again, you have to exit the world, unpublish the world, force everyone out of the world, make the changes,
Republish the world.
and then hopefully have everyone join back again. How the hell does the decade-old game do this better? Seriously, why couldn't we just have world locks? In what way does this publishing mechanic make it better? Now, I'm not saying they should just copy from Growtopia. Wait, no, that's exactly what I'm saying. Nexus Station suffers where they don't copy from Growtopia. Growtopia has one main currency, gems. Nexus Station has 3 main currencies, and one of them is so valueless that despite it specifically being designed as the currency for trading, players are choosing instead to use season passes as the standard currency for trading higher value items. Growtopia lets players build and edit worlds on the spot. Nexus Station does not. In Growtopia, the punch button was used to break blocks. Breaking blocks isn't a thing in Nexus Station.
So what's the punch button for? It's for punching balls. No, really. That is literally its only purpose. Punching balls. Well, at least the clothing items are a step up. And how do you acquire these clothing items?
You buy them. In the store. To get these shekels, you either have to spend real shekels or grind for it by playing parkour or hoops. Or not play parkour or hoops, as you'll be rewarded either way. You'll be given coins and experience even if you were AFK for the entire match. This gets super annoying in parkour, as you're forced to wait for every player to complete it. And I feel like now is a good time to talk about the obvious incentives for players to create alt accounts. For starters, there's a cap on the amount of coins you can obtain daily. You can bypass this cap with another account. New accounts can also claim up to 2 unique world names for free. You can bypass this cap with another account. And remember the account creation issue at launch, where no one could create an account for hours because they were overflooded with account creation requests? You can bypass this cap with
Wait, no.
That wouldn't have happened if there weren't so many incentives for players to create multiple accounts. The only thing stopping people from easily doing just that for a sizable advantage in the game is the lack of a logout option. Now I think I said all I wanted to say about the early access of Nexus Station. There are some problems, but I'm sure it'll all be fixed in due time. All in all, the game is pretty neat.
Sure, they just released the winter items.
$40 for a cosmetic in early access? This was so egregious, they had to apologize for it immediately after. And in the apology, they say they aren't able to refund players who had already bought the items less than a day after they realized it was a mistake. Bro, if Sony can refund every single copy of Concord, including physical ones, refunds of in-app purchases are certainly possible.
Oh yeah,
There was also this scam tactic on the launch of the early access, where scammers exploited a bug in the trading system. Items removed from the trade offer still showed up as if they were there. Thankfully, this was swiftly patched. Unrelated, but the lead developer of Nexus Station, Calvin Klein, owns a world called Drop Game. Despite all of these issues plaguing the game, I'm still somewhat optimistic about the game's future, which is why I spent so much money on it. And yeah, I did spend way too much time editing a video about the early access of a game nobody's even heard of. You see, the Autism Championships are coming up, and anyways, subscribe for more Nexus Station stuff maybe? I don't know. I will say that since my last video, I've learned the forbidden lost art of
adding music.
I'm evolving.